Hi, welcome to Testing with RK. In this session we will be discussing arrays. Arrays are used to store multiple values in a single variable instead of declaring separate variables each time. Okay, we will see what it means. From the previous session we have seen that we were creating variables using this syntax is equals to 10. So this is a variable which is holding a value of 10. But what if I was to have 10 different variables to store 10 different values? What if I have 10 values that I need to store? Then I will have to create 10 variables, and we can see that how difficult it can get managing these many variables. To combat that, what we have is got arrays. What arrays will do is that it will create one single variable and it will hold all the values of those 10 variables. Okay, so let's try to understand this with an example. Int var 10 int var 20. In fact, let's declare it here. var 20, var 3 30, var 4 40, and var 5 50. Okay, so I've declared five variables here. 5 variables I've declared which holds the value, these numeric values. Now instead of creating these 5 different variables and managing them, what we can do is, as I said, we can use arrays. To declare an array, the syntax for it is we have to define what data type is. So basically we have to tell arrays, that particular array, that what data type it will be holding, followed by these square brackets, and then define the array name equals to new data type followed by the size of the array. So basically telling the array that how many values do we want to store in this single array. Okay, let's create a single array that can hold all these values. To do that, int, we will say my storage values new, how many values? That 5. I'll say 5 followed by 10 20 30 40 50. Okay, sorry, a new, and we have to define the data type again. So in this statement I'm saying my storage value is holding 5 different values, 10 20 30 and 40 and 50. Okay, instead of managing these 5 different variables, now I have a single variable which is holding all of these data. Now to print these data, so when we declare an array, what will happen is in the memory is that some space will be allocated. In this example, for example, we have defined these are the data that will be held within this array called ARR. The value of the array, the index of the array, always starts with 0. So the first element is placed in position 0, the second element is positioned at index 1, third element is placed on index 2, and so on and so forth. Okay, so in this case, if you want to print if you want to print the index, we want to print the value of the array, what we have to do is we have to say my storage values and then followed by 0. The 0 is representing the first value of the array. Similarly, what we're going to do is we're going to copy this and print. So the second element, third element, fourth element, and fifth element. Okay, save it and run it. We will see that our values have been printed 10 20 30 40 50. Okay, brilliant. Now what if we were to change any of the values in any of these positions. So for example, I want to change the value of 40 to 400. Yeah, so what I would do in that case is my storage values square brackets, and I have to check what is the index of this value. So 0, 1, 2, 3. At the position 3, I want to replace the value of 40 by 400. Yep, so we'll print this one again, and just to see the values clearly, I'll put this separator. Okay, so run that one, and we will see the value of 40 has been replaced to 400. So in order to change the value of a particular element in that array, we have to first point which index it is and then replace the value with that. Okay, the next thing we have is we can do the same similar exercise with strings as well. In fact, let's do another exercise with strings. Say strings, and I will say cats new string, and I'll say 4. Okay, so lion, tiger, cheetah, leopard. Okay, so 4 values, and that are stored in the array variable called cats. Cats is a array variable of type string, which is holding these 4 values. The arrays, there is a class called arrays, and the array class by default provides you with predefined methods which we can apply on these variables. So we will discuss some of them today, but I'll give you a list of it, and I will tell you how you can find more about them. The first one we will look at is something called sort. So for example, if I was to sort, okay, so let's change the value of int here to 1, 200, 33, 24 and 55, and I'll comment this bit. Okay, now the method that I was talking about was sort. What sort will do is that it will sort the elements of the array alphabetically. Okay, and to do that, what we have to do is array dot sort, and then we have to tell which array that we want to sort. So we will sort my storage arrays, and we will also sort the cats array. So cats, cool. And to print them, what we have to do is, let's do that. Okay, so that again, and I just have to change this with cats, and that's it, because we have got only 4 values we will be doing. So that's the first, second, third, and another one. Okay, so save it, build and run. We'll see the values that were originally there in the array was 1, 233, 20, 24, 55. After the sort, the value has changed to 1, 24, 33, 200 and 555. The array was originally in the cats was lion, tiger, cheetah, and but after sorting it, it has gone alphabetically cheetah, leopard, lion and tiger. Okay, so that's the first. That's a very helpful and useful method to apply, and we will see how we will use it in while building our automated test scripts in our scenarios. There will be some testing scenarios where we will have a set of data and we say want to order this set of data alphabetically and then perform some operation. The next we have a property called length. What length does is that it gives you the size of the array. Okay, and we will in the future sessions we will learn more about how we can use the length. The length value can be used to iterate through the loops, which we will discuss in further sessions. To get the length, what we have to do is it's a property which is available. So to get the length, what we can do is my storage storage length. Okay, to get the length, simply my storage dot length, and that's a property. It will give you the size of the length. Currently the size of the these storage values is 5, so it will print the length 5. Similarly, if we copy that bit and say cats and cats, so save, build, run, and we will see my storage length is 5 and cats is 4. Okay, cool. So the next method we have is called max. Okay, in the array, once we have once we have the array and we want to know what is the maximum value in that particular data set, or what is the minimum value, then we can do that by using a method called max and min. And to do that we say, in fact, max number is we have my storage value and a method called max. Simple. Similarly, min number, oops, sorry, I have my storage and then min. Okay, let's save it, build, and run it, and you would see the max value from the list of data set we have is 555 and the min value is 1. Okay, there's another method which is available to perform on the arrays is sum. Okay, so console, sorry, so see, sum storage values and sum. Run it, and then you would see sum is 813. The sum of all those numbers is 813. Cool. There are quite many methods that are readily available that we can and we cannot cover in this single session, but what I would like to do is I want to invite you all to go through the predefined methods. So to find them, what you can do is you can type array and then you can check each individual method here, and you will see a little description popping up. Some of it is copy, so copying value from one array to the other array, finding a particular element, or fill, index of a particular element, so you want to know what is the index of this particular element in this array, we can do that with that method, and sort, if we want to reverse the entire array. So now this array I have this way, but I want the leopard to be the first value, cheetah to be second, tiger third, and lion fourth. We can do that with the help of reverse. And then we have sort. Resizing is to resize the array. So it does have a lot of methods that you could simply go on to move your cursor over here, point it and press F12, or right click, go to definition, F12, and you will see all these methods are available to use. So in the sort itself you can see so many options are available. Okay, so I invite you all to go through them and see and try various other things with them. Okay, now we have seen how we can define an array, how we can store the values in an array, and how we can access the value, how we can change the value in the array. Array can be defined in various ways. One of them was this. The other ways we have, in fact, let me copy this one here. So the other way is, the other way we have is we can simply say string, okay, cat1 new string. We don't have to define the size of the array, and just populate the value in here. Okay, and I can add Jaguar. Okay, in this style I haven't mentioned what is the size of the array, but what will happen internally is that C# will calculate how many values have been supplied to the array. So it will know that it is 5, and it will set the size of the array to be 5. The other way of doing it is simply by string cat1 equal to, and then I can say, sorry, it has been defined already. We can simply define the array by this as well. We don't have to use the new or string. All of these declarations are valid. They do pretty much, they all do the very same thing, but it is up to an individual what style they want to follow. In this particular declaration, what it will do is that it will create an array called cats2. It will populate all these values. Internally it will check how many values have been supplied, and will set the size of this array cat2 to whatever value we have supplied, basically. And that's it, guys. I want you to practice this more often, but for now I have put together some of the quiz, and the quiz is our way of doing a validation that what we have learned in this session, and it's a nice way of putting everything together. Okay, so the first question we have is create an array of types string called cars. So I want you to think of how you will create an array. Okay, how you will create an array which will have this values. Okay, pause the video, write your answer, and when you're ready, play it again. Okay, so the answer is strings square brackets. That's to tell that this is an array, and the variable name is cars, and we don't have to put, remember from the last time, from the very last thing that we discussed in our session, we don't have to put new string every time to create an array. By simply supplying the value, it will still create the same array. Next question, print the value of second element in the cars array. Okay, what we want to do is that we want to define, I want you to fill in the blanks here, create an array, and print the second value, which is BMW. So write a piece of code here which will print the second value from the array called cars. Okay, pause the video, write your answer, and when you're ready, play it again. So the answer is strings square brackets car is equals to so and so. So this will create an array called cars, and it will hold all these values. To print a value, we have to say cars is a cars of 1. So remember, the array starts from index 0, so 0 1 2 3. Okay, so at 1 position is BMW, I'll put 1, and that will print the value BMW. Brilliant. Next question, change the value of Volvo to Opel in the cars array. Okay, I have got the array called cars, which is holding the makers of the car industry, so Volvo, BMW, Ford and Mazda. I want you to change Volvo to Opel. So fill in the blank, write a piece of code here which will change the value of Volvo to Opel. Pause the video, write your answer, and when you're ready, play it again. And the answer is car of 0 is equals to Opel. So remember, the position of Volvo is at index 0. So when I say cars of 0, it is pointing at this index, and then what it will do is the Opel will move into this particular index. Okay, and that's it, guys. Thank you very much for joining me in this session, and I will see you in the next session. Thank you.